So let's start from the beginning if you could. Well, first of all, the album is fantastic.
Thank
I
you.
Yes, I was really impressed. And I think it's a welcome it's different in the sense that it incorporates all these elements, and I want to get into that. But let's just start with maybe your upbringing. Tell me where you're from and how you got to interested in music.
And well, thank you so much for inviting me, first of all.
Absolutely.
I'm very happy to be here. So yeah, I'm from Barcelona, Spain. And, and I was born there and raised there. And I moved to the United States. I'm located in Boston since 10 years ago. So because I also am a professor at Berklee College of Music, and the campus is in Boston. So everything, and I knew that I wanted to be a musician since the moment I could breathe, I think. Since the first moment I was on the stage, that it was very early on. I think my first concert was about 6 years old. And the feeling that I had on the stage, and the fact that I could communicate, and that dialogue that you create with the audience just made me feel the most happy person in the world.
Sure. So was it traditional training? Were your parents musicians?
Yeah, no, my parents are not, but are artists. My father is an architect and an amazing painter, and like a watercolor. And my mom is a historian, is like a professor in Latin and Greek, ancient language. But they both love and respect so much art. And, I started when I was 4 years old, studying music. Some of the musicians that my mom knew, they were really, really excellent in the city of Barcelona. And started showing that ability, so especially like aptitude, skills for the music. So just at 6 years old, at 8, I started with a program in the Conservatori in Barcelona, National Conservatori in Barcelona, with a whole traditional and academic curriculum since I was very, very young.
Your talents were recognized very early on then.
Yeah, I mean, actually, the Conservatori didn't allow to start the curriculum, the regular official program, until 8 years old, and they had to make a kind of an exception. So yes, I started very early on, and the whole curriculum, so the piano, choir, composition, counterpoint, everything, like solfege, of course, all history, music, Western music as well.
Excellent. Wow. So, who were some of your earliest influences? What were you listening to as a child and as you were developing?
Yeah, I mean, at that time I was playing a lot of Bach. Actually, it was mandatory in the program, playing, every year the full repertoire. Like 1 year it was like the clave temperado, no? The clavier. Another it was the partitas, another the suite, the French suite, and the German, so that it was amazing because you were able to play, but also to analyze as a composer, right? So much, so give you the whole language, the vocabulary. And then also I play a lot like Mozart, Beethoven. My professors were top specialized on Mozart, Beethoven, as well Chopin, and of course, and Impressionism music, French music, and also a lot of Spanish music as well, like Granados, Albéniz, Monpou, Frédéric Monpou as well. Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah. So, yeah, that's very interesting. So then you in Spain, when did you start performing? What were some of your earliest performances? Were they solo concerts?
Yeah, at that time, so the Conservatori were organizing solo concerts, piano solo recitals. And then when we were about teenagers, so the Conservatori was inviting to the students, the certain students, right, to showcase and to do a tour. And so we were going through Spain and playing in different auditoriums representing the Conservatori and doing, for example, the integral or partitas, right, the Bach partitas, or nocturnes of Fauré, and doing like a mono-themes repertoire. And I was one of the scholars, representing the Conservatori of Barcelona.
Okay. And then what brought you, when did you move to Boston, you said? I'm sorry.
Yeah, 10 years ago. Yeah, 10 years ago. So the thing, yeah, so I was always the studies that I did receive, they were very like a traditional, right? Classical music, Western traditional music. And then always I found myself when I was practicing and studying, oh, I want to improvise. I want to try that. I want to do a theme variations and creating my own stuff. So I said, I really want to study more improvisation. And we didn't have we didn't have jazz program at that time. So when I started playing concerts, and then they asked me to go to Switzerland. I was with the Hindemith Foundation and doing tour there, and kind of meeting another musician and discovering another ways to approach the music, right? To be more free, not just with the score, right? And be about the perfection of the technique and the performance. Being able to see that as a composer, as a arranger, as an improviser. So meeting other people say, oh, I want to study this. How can I access to that? And they said, oh, no, now we have a modern program that is called jazz. So I came back to college. After that, when I was already a professional classic pianist, I went back to college, to the Conservatori, to study the jazz program in Barcelona. And then I did graduate as well as a jazz pianist, always with the intention to come to Berklee. I said, I'm going to prepare the audition. So when Berklee comes, they come around the world, they go to do a tour, like audition, right? So I presented myself to that audition and I got invited to Berklee. And so I came here to study a specialization in, American music, jazz, American music, also orchestration, composition, arrangement, production, and jazz performance at Berklee. Mm-hmm.
Right. So who were at Berklee? Was there a certain piano instructor that you were working with?
Yeah, I did. It was amazing. I was able to study. So, for example, Stephanie Tiernan, especially more classical repertoire, but also in jazz, I was able to study with Tim Ray, that is the pianist of Tony Bennett, Yuko Kevin Harris, Ed Tomasi, of course, all the school of the Gonzi, of course, everybody at school study with legends, Johan Brahim, like a master, jazz master medal. So everybody at school, of course.
Oh, so Ed Tomasi, is he still there?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Is one of the. I love him. His teaching is amazing.
All I remember from his class was just, I knew at the time it was so involved, right? I mean, he talks fast and and I just remember writing and writing and writing. I'm like, this is beyond me, but maybe 10 years from now I'll understand it. Still, I go to the Ed Tomasi notes that I have.
Yeah, I do the same. Those classes are legendary. So when I arrived to Berklee, I said, you need to study with this person, and Ed Tomasi he was my private lesson. So I was taking piano as with him to understand from the perspective of the wind of saxo players. So I really enjoy that perspective.
Yeah, what an experience to study one-on-one with him. What an attention guy, but so knowledgeable. So incredible.
Yes, it's incredible. Yes, absolutely.
So in terms of jazz pianists, who are some of your influences?
Well, Chick Corea, absolutely. So Chick Corea came to Barcelona when I was a child to play with Bela Fleck in the Palau de la Música Symphonic. And it was at the time I was attending every weekend to hear the symphonic orchestra, right? Playing the Western or the traditional repertoire. And then suddenly that weekend, Chick Corea with Bela Fleck, I said, oh my God, this is amazing. And then that blew my mind away. And then absolutely I started researching and I said, I want to study all the repertoire I could, Chick Corea for sure. And all the Spanish influence, of course, the rumba and all the Latin jazz component that he has. And also Bill Evans, of course, and all the harmonic language, Oscar Peterson, the virtuosism and all the arrangement that he does. Those will be, some of the Wynton Kelly, the swing and the improvisation as well. Some are more, I call Gonzalo Rubalcaba, of course, Ivan Melon, Latin jazz, but yeah, so many maestros to study from.
Yeah, all the greats, right? I had the privilege of interviewing Oscar Peterson.
Oh my God, how is it?
Yeah, Amazing. So I just completed a book on Ray Brown. That's going to be, and
Wow, cool.
and, you know, who is better to speak to about Ray Brown than,
Yeah, absolutely.
but what an, besides his brilliance as a piano player, just the intellect when you speak to him, incredible. Just an incredible mind. And he was, it might have even been his final interview. It was very late in his life, but remarkable.
Oh,
Yeah. All right. So you go to Berklee, you study there, and then you become a professor at Berklee right away. How does this work?
well, actually, when I was the last semester, they said, Olivia, we don't want to let you go. So you have to be a Berklee professor. Also because I was a professional pianist before I came to Berklee, right? So, and then so I developed more like the jazz language or the American language here, right? So they said, Olivia. So I was a student and professor at the same time. So I graduated first as a jazz performer at Berklee. And then at that time they said, okay, we want you to be a professor in the piano department. And at the same time, I was still studying a second major at Berklee, more focusing in orchestration and arrangement and conducting or orchestra conductor. So I was taking the exams in the morning as a student and being a faculty in the piano department in the afternoon. And that is the way that I started. And then when the position opened, I presented myself and I got the assistant professor position. And I am super happy I've been there as a faculty since 6 years, you know.
Yeah, fantastic. So the classes that you teach, private lessons there. What are your courses that you teach?
So I do teach piano department private lessons and also recital preparation for, repertoire for concerts, but also auditions, contests, competitions. Since from classical music to jazz, every global music as well. We have some amazing variety, personality-wise or backgrounds. And then also I am the author. I created a course in the piano department that is based on the flamenco and flamenco jazz and how that works with traditional jazz in America. So it's super successful course. The students love it. We have so much fun. It's like a lab ensemble. So I did elaborate the repertoire and the contents and the vocabulary. It's called flamenco jazz piano. And then I am teaching as well in the ensemble department and the music director of the Spanish flamenco jazz ensembles. We run 2 ensembles. So yeah, we're very happy.
That's great. So let's talk about the album.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Tell me how it came about.
So that is the conclusion of the whole journey, right? Until I arrived here to the United States. And it was the right time, the right moment, right? Like the work has been cooking in the works. And then Berklee said, hey, Olivia, Berklee runs a lot of like a contest or like a fellowship grants. And so I did present my project, my music, to the fellowship grant faculty, and Berklee awarded this. And then they gave me the opportunity in the springboard to say, Olivia, record all your music in an album. I said, great. So we went and I spent all the 2021 and 2022 recording my music in the studio. And it was great. So I did record different arrangement, different ensemble size of my music, originals and arrangement of some of my favorite composers. And we came with an entire album. And I did ask the producer, Gonzalo Grau, that is amazing, to have him in the album. And he came up with the idea of doing the promenades to connect all these pieces of the journey, the chapters of. So it represents the different moments of my life, some more rooted in Spain, right, in Barcelona, and some of them are more rooted in my Boston life. So how we go from one to the other, connecting those with the short pieces, promenades. Right.
Yes, I mean, it seems like it's very obvious. It seems like it's a celebration of all. It does. I could see that it is your journey after talking to you, and then just the collaboration of all these musicians from so many different parts of the world and so many different instruments that you use. I mean, how did you assemble all these people to be a part of this?
Yeah, I know. I cannot believe how you're right. Lucky, I couldn't believe it when I said, "Can you play this?" And so the fact is, like, we are friends with all of them. You know, the amazing thing that happens at Berklee, right? You are surrounded by some of the most talented musicians in the world, and we were friends and playing already in the Boston scene, right? So in different clubs, just clubs, also in another project. So I already was, you know, I already met them, I knew them. So when it came the album, I said, oh, can we record that? So all of them, they were so excited to see the next step, you know, my project going to the next step. Okay, now we're making the recording, but we already playing before, when we were playing, you know, more jamming in the clubs of Boston, and we are colleagues. Most of them, we are colleagues at Berklee as well. So it's amazing to have all these people, you know, you're surrounded by all these people, amazing musicians. So yes, all of them, they said immediately, yeah, Olivia, of course, I'm totally down. What do I have to do? So they stopped some tours. Oh yeah, on those days. So the difficult was trying to match the schedule for 15 people at that level, right? 15 musicians. But we made it happen. 5 days all together in the studio, more or less.
Only 5 days for the whole record.
That first section, no, for the Spanish guest or
Yeah, I was gonna
no.
say it's incredible.
Yes. Yeah, no, not.
Because it's very involved music at times, and it's I mean, the list of musicians is amazing. I mean, musicians from Pakistan, Israel, India, Boston, of course, but you know, all over the world. And like, what is your? I hear a lot of Indian music in some of it. What is your connection to Indian music?
Yeah, I have. Well, my uncle, sorry, sometimes I make the mix. Uncle was living in India, and then he was coming every time for Christmas and summer, and he was coming with different instruments from India, and he was playing instruments. He was an artist, an actor, but also a street musician, right? So he was able to share with me all those influence since I was a child. And also when I write, so that it was part of my, right? I love this music. And we made, you know, parties at home with that music. He was playing, I was listening at the time. And then when I came to Berklee, Indian community is super strong. There's so many incredible ensembles and, you know, communities and organizations. So one of my best friends at Berklee was from India. And then we were jamming always and playing together. And she said, oh, let me share with you this and like ancestor poem, right? And then, okay, and what is the music that we should put? And then she showed me the way that the ancestor music was. And then we started making that merging, and I did write more Spanish into music to that, accompanied to that ancestor poem. And because we were jamming, our friends from the Indian community, they said, oh, can I join? I'm going to play tabla. Okay, let's go. And I'm going to play sitar. And then we started jamming, literally accompanied to that ancestor poem, Indian ancestor poem. And then it became the song, and I love it so much. So I was kind of giving different shapes and trying different, you know, ideas until I said, oh, this is the idea I want. And that it came the composition. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's an incredible mix of styles, convergence of all these world music influences, and yet it still sort of functions as a packaged album, like from beginning to end. It seems to have a theme. The way you break up the pieces with, I believe you call it the promenade sections, is it?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really well done. And then in terms of the production, I mean, just everything sounds really great. I mean, the actual recording itself. Yeah. And how much did you have? So in terms of the arrangements, were those all yours?
Yeah, most of them are mine, the original compositions, and then the others are I am always arranging or co-arranging. For example, Gonzalo Grau, that is the producer, so he's co-arranging with me the arrangement, the strings arrangement that we did of Combat del Somni, right? The piece by Frédéric Monpeau. And also we did with Panos. Panos was co-arranging with me one of my original compositions, and I love that. And then as well in Barcelona, my rumba catalana, right, the rumba flamenca. So it was also co-arranged by Camila Cortina that she wrote. It was one of my students at the time, and she's incredible, talented. So she wrote the lyrics and said, okay, let's go to put the lyrics on the recording. And then also she did some co-arrangements with me. And yeah, we were very happy to add that. And she's from Cuba, so has all this exactly like blending sound and merging sound, mixing sound. Yeah. But yes, exactly. I am arranging or co-arranging in all of the songs in the album. Mhm.
Fantastic, great. So now when you perform, have you performed this record? Do you bring now? How do you do that? Do you bring all these musicians with you?
That that is a very good question. Actually, the producer told me, Olivia, you know that this is not doable, right? For a tour. I said, okay, why not? But of course, this as the recording. So I wanted to make, the recording as close to my vision, right? My music vision. So I wanted to be sure that I was showing the different ensembles that I love to play with, the same different ensemble size, and what you said, the different, all my backgrounds, my personalities, my identities, right? And the way that we connected, because when I said to the Gonzalo, the producer, how we connect, right? Olivia is flamenco, Olivia is Latin jazz, Olivia is classical, how we connect. So we connected all this, what you said, like making a whole piece, right? The whole journey with those promenades. But regarding the tour, it was always present, like how we tour that. So I have one concept more like a festival, and we are working on different festivals. We will bring this recording into festivals in summer in Europe, most of the time in Spain. So I'm very excited for this coming summer 2024. And the major festivals, yes, they want to feature the entire project, right? So 10 instruments. So you have a string quartet, right? You have the cello as a lead in different songs that I have. It's so important, the sound of the cello. You have the quartet of jazz, right? Like a drums, cajon, acoustic bass, and piano as well. And then you have a guest, like a guest flute, guest vocalist, because exactly my vocalist is different in every song, right? So you have a featuring. So that is the concept, having a guest vocalist in one song, it's different. If the budget of festival allows, great. If not, we do one specific guest in the city that we are at for a melodic instrument. But yes, the core, it will be the quartet and plus, plus one melodic instrument or one vocalist as well, yes. So I do have all the arrangements ready to go for a quartet as well, yes. For small clubs or, more like a jazz clubs.
Right. So when you're playing perhaps like the regatta bar or something like that, it's more of a smaller ensemble.
Correct. Exactly. So for example, for my album release that we did at Drum in New York in October, it was the album release. I said, okay, let's go with all the musicians, with all the arrangements and all the plays. It was amazing. It was a party, a celebration, right? So we were the 15 people on the stage. It was a bit difficult.
A little crowded.
And also for the sound engineer, it was like, oh my God, because drum, it's amazing, but it's not like a big stage like the festival, right? But yes, definitely now moving forward that we are going to premiere in Boston at the David Friend Hall in March. We are going to do more like a reduction version, quartet, plus a couple of guests. I have Judith Nederman actually coming in Boston. For the concert in March 12th, the vocalist Combat del Somni. So yes, depending on the venues, yes, Regatta Bari will be definitely a quartet plus guests.
Right.
Guests, yeah.
Great. So, where are we at now? What's the next are you working on a new project or just promoting the album?
So now, actually, today I'm flying to Spain when we finish now. Yes. And I will be 2 weeks promoting the album. I have a Spanish national TV interview, radio national interview. And also I am performing, the Latin Grammys are in Sevilla next week. And I am the co-music direct one of the shows for the Latin Grammys.
Oh, wow. Okay. Excellent.
So it's pretty exciting. So 2 weeks on tour of promoting the album and the Latin Grammys. And then we are working on the tour for the summer. So ideally that tour will bring us to United States as well and Spain for the summer, starting like May, June until August 2024. That is the working on the tour. And also I am writing a piece for orchestra. I got a commission for one of the major, thank you, one of the major symphonic orchestra in the world. I will be revealed soon. I cannot give more details, but I'm writing a whole symphony orchestra piece, long.
Excellent. Wow. Great.
So yeah, I'm very excited
Nice.
about that too.
So what did I miss? Anything else you want to tell the viewers, the listeners about your music, or what to expect moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to invite the listeners to come to the shows, to follow my social media. It's under my name, Olivia Pérez-Collellmir, and also my website. And, I would love to invite everybody to listen and, of course, hopefully enjoy and feel that journey. One of the things that the listeners have shared with me, and I really love it, is like when they listen to my music, that a specific piece, a momentum of the journey, they touch their soul, right? Their heart in different ways, such a specific way that they all kind of connect with a part of their own journeys, right? Journeys to leave your country, your home, to emigrate to a new, and another country, how you start and you build your community and how the music carries you on this journey, right? So I would love for them to invite to feel that journey and how the music represents that multiculturality and multi-genre or no genres, right? Or multi-geography, and it's above and beyond of chronology and borders, right? So it's what you said. I have musicians from Palestine, from Australia, from the United States, from Spain, from Germany. So every part of the globe, right? From India. And that's what represents my music, the multiculturality. So yes, please listen to the music, enjoy, have fun. They can find in all the platforms, and to buy the physical CD, to go to Adia Ropa Records. That is the record label, and also in Bandcamp they can find my name, Bandcamp Olivia Pérez-Collellmir, and find the physical CD.
Yeah, excellent. I just want to give you my personal. Your album came to me at like the exact right time. So for the first time ever, I'm teaching a course. I teach college as well, global pop music. So, I mean, it was like, I had to do basically a crash course of listening to music from all these different genres, fado music, flamenco music, what have you, Indian music. And I was like, this is everything. It just everything I just did is all in this one record. All my study just kind of came together. So I'm actually going to be using your album as part of my course.
I feel so honored. Thank you so much.
So I know my students, at least 30 people, will be enjoying your album for sure, and having to listen very actively for an assignment. So
I love it. The whole album for assignment, I love it. Wow, that sounds amazing. Which college is?
I'm at a college called Monmouth University. It's in New Jersey. I'm about an hour south of New York City.
Nice. Wow, thank you so much. Yeah, I feel super honored, and I'm here if you have any questions, or they have any questions, the students, they can happy to help them out, of course. Such an honor.
Well, keep up the great work. It was really a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you. Likewise. I always feel like the English is going to be good enough. I hope that you it was good.
Yeah, no, we understand. All right. Good luck with everything, and take care. Thank you, Olivia.
Thank you so much. Such a nice interview. Thank you so much. Adios. Bye.